Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review slash haul of some products that are new to me. Some of these products aren't brand new to the market, they've been out for maybe like a month or two already, but I haven't talked about them yet, and I wanted to kind of take this opportunity to haul everything and, you know, show you what I've gotten recently and also give mini reviews of each product. Most of the products I'm going to be talking about are eyeshadow palettes because that is just what I gravitate towards. When something new comes out, if it's a new eyeshadow palette, it's just kind of my thing. I love eyeshadow palettes. I do have a few other things, some contour, blush palette, and a highlighter palette. So we have a bit of a variety, but a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So let's jump right in. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Lorac and Beauty and the Beast eyeshadow palette. This says Tale as Old as Time. This is the eyeshadow palette that came with their Beauty and the Beast collection. I also got the lip glosses, and those are nice. I do like those, but I wanted to talk about this mostly. My husband actually bought these for me as a surprise. So this is what it looks like. It has the mirror there. So this palette has 16 shades in it, so there is a nice mix of shimmers and mattes in this palette, and also this is their Pro formula. So I think just this summer Lorac has started with their limited edition palettes using the Pro formula and not using a different formula. The Pro formula is my personal favorite. The shadows are really soft and creamy and they blend so well, and a lot of times I have a lot of limited edition palettes from Lorac that aren't that formula, and they're really disappointing. They're just not the same. So it's nice that they're using that for their special limited edition palettes as well now. This does come with a nice double-ended brush. Here we have the fluffy side and the packing side here. I did use this and quite a few of these shadows in my look today. I'll get to in a second. But first I want to go over each row of shades and show you up-close swatches. So the first row we have Dream It, Timekeeper, Our Guest, and Impress. The next row we have Beast Mode, Enchanting, Swept Up, and Look Beyond. Next we have My Castle, Chip In, Romance, and Spellbreaker. Then we have Inner Beauty, Tea Time, TikTok, and Real You. So for my look today, I started with a mix of TikTok and Look Beyond, this mauve shade and this nice natural camel shade. I used those two as kind of mixed together on my lid, more of the mauve down here and the camel shade up here, and use that as a base. And then I went in with Real You, and I really wanted to pack on this pink shimmery shade because it looks so pretty that I really wanted to use that. And it was really weird what ended up happening. So on this eye, I started putting it on and it wasn't quite as metallic, as shimmery as I wanted it to be. So I sprayed it with some setting spray and I packed it on, and then it got real foiled and it looked really nice for like 2 minutes. And then I tried to do the same thing with the other eye and I couldn't get it to look the same for whatever reason. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at both my eyes and the pink is like completely gone. The shimmery part is completely gone, and I don't think you can see it at all anymore. I can't notice it at all, and it was really frustrating because it looked so cool and kind of foiled at first, and then it just disappeared. It's like the glitter, it's like it has this pink base, and then the glitter in it or the shimmer in it is, I don't know, it's not mixed in there enough, so it just kind of fell out, and I got a ton of fallout too. And it was just really frustrating. So that shade was kind of disappointing, and overall I feel like this palette is not my favorite. I don't hate it, it's not a fail because there are some really nice shades in it. Like this Dream It one is just so pretty and smooth. A lot of the matte shades are really nice. I just feel like the shades that are really nice are your sort of average shades that you have in every palette kind of thing, and nothing unique. Like I really wanted to work with these pinks, and even this blue isn't that great. If you are looking for a better Lorac palette that is kind of an all-encompassing limited edition palette, the Pirates of the Caribbean palette is my all-time favorite. I love that one so much. I cannot get enough of that one. So, you know, I was hoping this would be as good, but it's just not. I don't love the color selection. The color selection is different than a lot of what's coming out this summer, which is kind of cool. It's not your typical like warm, bright, orangey browns and warm tones. You know, it's a little bit different, which is nice, but it's just not my favorite. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the color selection? Do you own this palette? What do you think? It's just unfortunately not my favorite. I'm gonna still get use out of it, just not a ton. Next, I want to talk about the Tarte Clay Play palette. So this is another one that is kind of different. It doesn't have your Oh, so reflective. That's frustrating. I'm just going to show you an insert of it, what it looks like on the inside. So this comes with 12 shades. From my understanding, this palette is supposed to be eyeshadows and contour, or sort of a full face palette, like whatever you want to do with it. So you can contour your face, you can highlight your face, and you can do your eyeshadow as well. I was really excited to try this palette because I had high hopes for it, thinking that it would be like a full-on contour palette, like a really good natural everyday palette, a really like a must-have, you know, because of all the variety of shades in there. And even though the shades are all neutral and they're all matte, I thought that it would be really fun to try. So let's go through the shades really quickly. I'm gonna go through them in like 4 at a time, and like this quad, and this quad. Although I think these are supposed to be more contour products, and then I'm assuming that the lighter ones here can be either highlighter or eyeshadow, and then these are the eyeshadows. So the first quad we have Journey, Stone, Solstice, and Terracotta. The next quad we have Dunes, Smoke, Sand, and Desert. In the last quad we have Ember, Onyx, Instinct, and Timber. Also have to mention this palette smells delicious. It's kind of like vanilla marshmallows. It smells so good, which is just always a good thing. The shadow quality is on par with Tarte shadows. I feel like they are good quality shadows. They blend into the skin really well. They're fairly soft, but they're not super powdery. They don't have a ton of fallout, not as much as like the Lorac shadows do or anything, which again is pretty standard for Tarte. The only deciding factor for this palette is whether or not you want shades like this. There's nothing shimmery in here. There's nothing really statement making. It's a really basic palette, and if you think that's something that you would like in your collection, then I definitely recommend it. The contour powders are nice. I'm still experimenting with them. I think the one that I'm going to get the most use out of is the terracotta one right here, and then I'll just be mixing these two a little bit to experiment, and it's nice to have that to experiment with, but I don't know that it's absolutely necessary. I don't think this is perfect for my skin tone either, so if you have a similar skin tone to mine, you might want to look for something else. I can make it work, but I feel like it's geared towards not quite as warm of skin tones as I have, but that's just my opinion. I do like the packaging a lot. It's magnetic, it's got a nice big mirror, it's really good packaging. I don't know that this is a must-have, but I do think the quality is good, and I do think that if you are looking for some neutral matte shades like this, then you will like this palette. Next, let's talk about the Carli Bybel and BH Cosmetics palette. This is the deluxe edition 12 color eyeshadow and highlighter palette. So this is the second one that she's come out with, sort of second edition. She came out with her first collaboration with BH Cosmetics that was an eyeshadow palette. This one is bigger. I do believe there are some of the same shades in this one as in the original, but then there's a bunch of new ones as well. So if you don't have the original, this is a great one to get because you'll get everything, you know, all the best of both. As you can see, I did break the mirror the first time I traveled with this, which was also the first time I used it. So frustrating. I just had it in my bag, and I pack pretty carefully. I always do, especially when it comes to makeup, but for some reason this mirror broke, and that was very frustrating. So that's a downside. The packaging isn't the sturdiest, but for the price, this is a really, really good value. I'll insert swatches here of all of the shades in the rows, so you can see that there is a mix of mattes and shimmers. The shimmers are out of this world. They are so intense and pigmented. A little bit on the powdery side, which you would expect from a less expensive palette, but they are so vibrant and beautiful. And if you foil them, they come out even better. It's just so amazing how the shimmer shades look, and the matte shades are really nice as well. Again, the mattes are on the more powdery side, but they blend into the skin very nicely, and they work really well with other shades. I'm wearing a lot of this purple shade. I ended up kind of finishing off my look, I guess you could say, with that purple shade on my eyes a lot, and it's just so beautiful. I really love it. I love how the shades blend with other shadows, and everything just works together really well. And again, I can't say enough good things about the shimmers. They are amazing, seriously. It also has a nice range of darker shades and lighter shades to get the full spectrum of color. And then all of these down here are shimmery, and I believe they're all designed as highlighters, but you can of course incorporate them into your eyeshadow look as well, which I did. And just such a nice variety. I love these two light ones. This is like a light white highlighter, and this is like a pinkish white highlighter. So pretty, just so unique and pretty, you know. And white highlighter is always fun to have in a collection, and it's one of those that's pretty rare in a palette, I feel like, but it's fun. It's so cool that she put that in here. So I think Carli Bybel did an amazing job with this palette. This is definitely one that I highly recommend that you purchase. Totally worth it. It's just really great quality palette. You can get all kinds of everyday natural looks and glam looks and everything in between. So I love this one. Next, let's talk about another one that I will tell you right now is a hit. The Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. Yes, I got this. I think the second release was when I got this. And I'll tell you guys, I talked about this on Twitter. I was not planning on getting this when I first heard about it. Because this palette is more expensive than the regular 35 pan palettes, I thought that was ridiculous and I wasn't going to buy it. And then I saw Jaclyn Hill do her video explaining the whole story behind the palette and everything and why it was more expensive and how she literally handpicked every shade, like created every single shade in this palette. And they're all new to Morphe. They're all different new shades that she created and put her heart and soul into. And then I kind of got sold on it and I was like, okay, it makes sense now. I think I do need this. And so I got it, and I just taped the card up here. A lot of people have been doing that just so that I know the names of the shades, because otherwise I'm gonna lose that. So I just wanted to tape that there. But I mean, what can I say? Like, this palette is amazing. The shadows in here are really, really out of this world. The quality is absolutely amazing. The mattes and the shimmers and the metallics. Like this one, like Hello Mermaid. Oh my gosh. It's unreal. It's just, and pretty much everyone has been saying that too. There's not a lot of controversy about the quality of this palette. I know there's controversy about if it's worth it or not, and you know, if it's worth the higher price, but I feel like everyone's pretty much agreeing that this is an amazing palette, and I have to agree as well. So if there are more releases, more launches, and you get a chance to get this if you haven't yet, I definitely do recommend this. I feel like the color selection is amazing for what it is. 35 high quality hand-picked shadows that are this nice and this variety of shades. You just can't beat it. You really can't. There's probably a few things I would change. The one thing that I would definitely change is I would like a matte cream shade in this palette, like a lighter shade, like a light beige or white even in this palette. That would be nice. A bright gold would be really nice in this palette. But other than that, it's perfect and I love it and I highly recommend it. Okay, next I have a couple from ColourPop to talk about. I got the email that this one was restocked and I just had to grab it. This is the Cute AF eyeshadow palette by ColourPop. This is what it looks like. Again, right on trend with those warm yellow, orange, red shades. I really like that this is affordable and it's got a kind of unique selection of colors in it. It really does. The yellow and the shades of red, like at first it looks like your classic burnt warm palette, but these are kind of lighter than normal shades. And I don't know, just playing with it, I found that I had to be a little bit more creative than I was expecting. And I like that. This darker shade is so pretty. Again, I'll insert swatches so you can see up close. Consistent with ColourPop quality, these shadows are absolutely fantastic. It is smaller than I thought it would be for some reason, but again, considering the price, it's a great deal. Got a nice selection of mattes and shimmers. The shimmers are really intense, almost metallic, and really soft and beautiful. I just really love this palette. I think this is going to be so great for fall. I think it's awesome to have a lot of neutrals that you can go safe with and everyday with if you want to, but then you have your exciting pops of color that are going to be fun to play with too if you're feeling a little bit more daring. So I definitely recommend this palette. The one downside is, of course, the packaging. Same with the Jaclyn Hill one. White packaging already is getting fingerprints on it. I don't know if you can see, but it is. And then the next one, this is the I Like Your Face. This is their highlighter palette. They came out with powder highlighters, and I don't know if I'm going to buy the singles, but I wanted to buy this palette because it looked, for one thing, like it goes really well with the Cute AF palette, and it does. These shades coordinate with that eyeshadow palette super well. Like, you could use these as eyeshadows too to complete your look if you wanted to. They go together very, very well. And honestly, these highlighters are really beautiful. They are very intense, so if you don't like a super intense, like metallic highlighting look, then you might not like these. I am wearing them today. I think I mixed this one and this one. There we go, you can see better. I mixed this one and this one, and I think I have more of this one on than anything, but I'm loving it. It's intense, so I feel like I have to be kind of careful with it because you can get too heavy-handed, but I'm loving it. I'm loving this palette. It's just so fun for summer, and I think it'll be good for fall too. It's just such a fun palette, so fun, and the quality is awesome, so I would definitely recommend this if you don't have too many highlighters already, which I know a lot of us do, but if you think that these shades are nice, I mean, they're nice, pretty unique shades too. Yes, this is a good one. Okay, next let's talk about this beauty right here. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio. They recently came out with, I believe, 3 different versions of this, and I think this is the darkest one. This is called Berry Adore. On the Ulta website, I just thought these shades looked really pretty and really unique from anything that I have. I have a lot of lighter blush shades that are made for, you know, geared towards lighter skin tones. Anastasia Beverly Hills is really good at gearing her products towards all skin tones, including dark skin tones. So when I saw this, I was like, well, I don't have a lot of shades like this, so I wanted to get this. They are very beautiful, very pigmented, like really, really pigmented, very soft and blendable. I almost feel like this is too dark for me, but I am wearing it today. I am wearing this deep shade here, and I like it. I really do. I think that I have to use a little bit of a different technique. I use more of like a stamping technique so that I don't all of a sudden have a huge swipe of too much pigment. But when I do the stamping, I can really control where I put it with my brush. But I'm enjoying this palette. I think it's fun. I think it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors, and a nice variety of like your sort of mauve, then your pink, and your peach. And like I said, I have a lot of lighter blushes already, so I was really happy to get this. And they describe it as a full pigmented blush for buildable intensity with a seamless finish. That sounds exactly right. I agree with that. So this is really nice. If you are looking for like a kind of a special, fun blush product to try, this is great. Lastly, I have finally gotten my hands on one of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifters. These have been out since the beginning of the summer, I think. I was so excited when these came out because I remember thinking for years that I wish Urban Decay had like a contour palette. You know, it's one of the things they don't have. They have their bronzer things and like tons of eyeshadow palettes and everything, but they never had a contour palette, and I was always surprised. I was always like, when are they gonna do that? And now they finally have. And I watched That Girl Shay's review on these, and she seemed to think that the darker one, which is medium dark, which is what I have, was one that would be good for most people, so that's why I chose this one. Now that I have it though, I'm not 100% sure if I agree with that. Some of the shades are kind of dark, but the powder shades I really like, so let's just start with those. So first of all, these pans are kind of falling out, like, well, I don't want to make it like can you see like that's kind of falling out. They're very wiggly in there, which is unfortunate. It is interesting packaging in that it's double-sided, so the powder products are here, and then over here you have cream contour products. It's very interesting. It's nice that they're separate. It's just, I don't know, it's different. I like it. I don't mind it. And then you got your mirror, which is awesome. So powder products, right away you can tell that I'm happy because I have my yellow banana powder. Love that in any contour palette. I have to have that for my under eyes. They have a couple of really nice contour shades here. I really like these. This one is nice. They're both pretty neutral, but on the warmer side, I would say, which for darker skin is generally better. And I find that I do end up mixing the two, using a little more of this one than this one, but mixing them both to get the right shade. And then this here is a really pretty highlighter. And I rarely ever like the highlighters, can you kind of see that come in contour palettes, because I feel like they are just too boring, honestly. Like, I feel like they just take a beige and put shimmer in it, and it's boring. But this is really interesting. It's like peachy and gold and got almost a duochrome to it. It's just beautiful and really interesting. So I love the highlighter in this palette. As for the cream shades, I'm still getting used to these. This is where I feel like this one is just so dark, and then this one is just kind of weird. So I haven't really figured out how to make them work. I've found so far what I've been doing is using this under foundation. So I'll put on primer, I'll contour with this one and mix maybe a little bit of that one in, and then I'll put my foundation on top, and that way it's kind of muted out. I'm not actually contouring with this super dark brown shade. Let me know if you have this and you use it and how it works for you, because I feel like that's just a little bit too dark for a contour shade for me. I don't know. So I'm still kind of experimenting with the cream side, figuring out how I feel about it. I still love my Wet n Wild contour stick. I can't stop using that, but you know, I'm giving these a try too. So I don't know. I feel like the cream side is kind of meh. The powder side is really awesome. It's nice that they come all together. It's nice to get you out of your comfort zone. I always love products that are a little bit new and get me out of my comfort zone, get me to try new skills with makeup, because that's just part of the fun for me. The cream products are pretty thick. They're not greasy or slippery, which is good because that can kind of take off your foundation, but they are very creamy. They're not like drying or anything like that. So when you put them on, they do slide on very nice and smoothly, and then they blend out very well also. So I do think it's a good cream highlighter or cream contour product if that's what you're looking for. Just make sure that it's something that you are comfortable using. If not, you probably won't like it unless you want to learn how to do something new. So I would say if you are not comfortable cream contouring, maybe skip this unless you really do want to get out of your comfort zone and learn something new. If you're used to powder products, this has really great powder products, but I don't think it's worth it for if you're only going to use half the palette. So that's my take on that. But if you're comfortable using both cream and powder products and you feel like the shades are a good match for you, then I definitely do recommend this. Alright guys, that is everything that I have to talk about. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun talking about these products and I've been having a lot of fun sharing them. I kind of didn't know if I should do individual reviews on them or like tutorials, what you guys wanted to see, so I decided to just put it all in one video and talk about each one briefly. And if there is anything that you want to see more in-depth tutorial on, please let me know. Let me know what type of looks you'd like to see too, because I'm happy to do that for you guys. I'd love to hear what products you have picked up recently or you are loving this summer and fall. Let me know. And that's all I have, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up and having your notifications turned on. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching, you guys. I appreciate you so much and I'll talk to you again very soon.